put the, tell them, I'm gonna flash which classes are, I'm gonna share what classes. And they can take a picture of it and put it on screen. Like, cause people are texting, they didn't see it quick enough, because Brian only did the one. How's it take, tell them to go ahead, take a
Okay, for those who are watching at home, I've just gone ahead and put the class schedule back up on the screen for you. So if you want to take a quick screenshot, that way you know what classes are happening when and where, so that you can pick the ones that'll help you the most.
10 more seconds. Then I'll switch to the next one.
And there's session 2, so go ahead and take a screenshot of that one, so you can decide which ones you'd like to take in the second round. All right, it's about to come down, so you got 3, 2, 1. Yes.
You have your clicker, so.
Yes. All right, ready to go? All right, hello, everybody. So welcome to Storefront Tips and Tricks. My name is Christy Monson. I am new to the Las Vegas area, but longtime scout. So I've got about 40 years at this point of being in front of stores and getting support for scouting all across the western half of the U.S. here. So hopefully I can bring a couple little tips and tricks to help make your storefront a bit quicker. We also have our assistant, Paul, over here, our super seller scout. He's consistently been one of the top storefront sellers in his pack, and a big part of it are these simple little tips and tricks, which I hope you will find useful. So we're going to go ahead and start with where you always start. Build your foundation. Now, you might ask, what does that mean as far as a storefront? It's just a quick little pop-up booth, right? Like anything else, if you try to wing it, you're going to stress yourself out. So the first thing you want to do, train your scouts and your parents. The number one stress I've seen at every single booth is parent shows up, whether it's their first time ever doing a popcorn pop-up or it is their 50th, and there is nothing but chaos as parent A is switching off to parent B and the money and the tally sheets and the kids are now, I haven't seen you in 3 whole days, and they're jumping around. A big way to avoid this is if everybody knows what's going on, it makes a nice, clean, smooth transition. So, first of all, have the parents and your scouts understand the goals and the purpose for selling. Why are they there? Are they there just to kill 2 hours on a Saturday afternoon, or do they have a purpose? That sense of purpose will be the difference between, especially with your Cubs, but I've seen it with kids up in high school who've had the same thing. If they don't have a sense of purpose, they're going to be goofing around. As you can hear the rat-a-tat out on the table. Because right now, he doesn't really know his purpose. He just knows that, hey, I show up in my uniform with mom and I get some pizza and corn dogs for dinner. So right now, that's his purpose. But when they know, hey, if I do really good for the next 2 hours, that means I get to go to the water park, or I get to go on an extra camping trip. That suddenly gives them incentive. You want to walk through the trails and app, both with the parents and with the kids. Don't underestimate your kids. I've had scouts as young as 6 years old clamoring to be able to enter the sale in the app. And you know what? They could do it. In fact, sometimes they were even able to do it better than their parents could. So teach them both definitely make sure your adults understand, but don't leave the kids out. It gives them a sense of agency when they're at that booth. If they're holding their tablet or they're holding mom's phone and they're typing in that sale and they feel so good because they're the one doing it. They're not just a prop. They're actually earning that money for themselves and for their pack. Go over how to set up the booth, how you want it run, and how to take it down before the shift. Have a practice run at your popcorn rally. Say, hey, here's what we're going to give you to go to a booth. How are you going to set it up? How are you going to set up the storefront? If they practice it ahead of time, they're not messing around after the fact and not trying to figure it out on site. Because I will tell you, the second you show up in those uniforms, you've got supporters coming out of the woodwork. And then once you're set up, they'll quiet down for a little bit. I don't know why, but when you look like you're flustered, that's when everybody wants to buy. Don't be flustered. Be ready to take those support and help get them what they need. Let's see. For the scouts, Paul, come on over here. Go ahead and stand in front of these nice people here. And let's pretend they just walked out of Smith and you are at your popcorn pop-up. What are you going to say?
Hi, my name's Paul.
Well, let me give you the mic so that they can hear you.
Don't go too far, you gotta.
Yeah.
Put that right there.
Okay, so I would say,
Introduce yourself.
hi, my name's Paul, and my pack wasn't going all the way to so many adventures, but we don't have enough money. So, could you please? I am not saying that right.
That's okay. All right, you good? So,
No, I'm not saying that right.
all right, we'll come back to it. Have him say it for you. But basically, what we want to talk about is, oh, I'm so bored.
It doesn't want.
Sorry, I've never used one of these filters before.
Oh, hang on. I'll do it.
Ah, there we go. Okay.
People are asking me questions, I'm trying to answer this.
So what it comes down to is the semantics. You'll notice I've kind of avoided some certain words, and there's a reason for that. What words you choose matters. We are not looking for customers. We are not a business per se. We are looking for supporters. We do not want you to buy the popcorn. We would like you to please help us do our adventures. So the pitch Paul's been practicing was, hi, my name is Paul and my pack has some amazing adventures planned this year. Will you please help us be able to do them?
I know I'm
Okay. We don't want to ask people buy, because here's the thing, and we'll get to that. Buying has this connotation of give me something. We're not asking for them to give it as far as, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. We're not asking them to buy the popcorn for itself. This is not a all year thing. What we're asking though is we would like your support. And in exchange for your donation to our scouting program, we have this wonderful popcorn item as a thank you. And that's more of the way to look at it. We're not looking at making a sale. We're looking to get donations to help support our council, our pack, and our individual scouts. And as far as the scouts go, they're not winning anything. They're earning those experiences. They are earning those Amazon gift cards. And that's what we want to put in their mind. These are rewards for their hard work. These are goals that they are setting. When you make this more than just a fundraiser, you turn this into an opportunity for growth. Not only will the scouts and their parents get more out of it, you're actually going to find they have motivation to work harder. They have a motivation to work towards something. And isn't that what scouting is all about to begin with? Another big trick at storefronts, especially with the little ones. Train yourself to look for the positive. Not everybody is going to say, yes, sure, here's $100, give me 3 bags of popcorn. What they're going to be is a lot more, no thank yous, oh, I don't have any cash on me, oh, I'm on a diet, I've already bought some. You are going to hear 20 million different reasons not to purchase the popcorn. And with kids, that rejection sensitivity is still very, very sensitive.
And, okay, so can I be the reason what you're not supposed to do?
Quickly. So what is not the way to respond?
What? What is the disappointing you want?
That's definitely not the right way to do it. But a big thing is helping to change their mindset. How somebody feel when somebody says any of those excuses, not as they're being rejected, but rather not right now, not today. I am not prepared at this moment. So that way, it's not about me, it's they're not ready. So instead, well, thank you for listening. And recognizing that a no now could be a yes later. If they keep that in mind, it helps keep them moving forward.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
So the next thing is, why do we do this? Why do we spend several weeks standing in the heat and the rain and the cold and whatever? Why do we go through this whole experience to get money for the popcorn? Well, let's take a look at the Scout Law, because if you keep these ideas in mind, the popcorn program can actually help reinforce these values. A Scout is clean when setting up and taking down their storefront. When you have an area that looks neat and organized, and we have a couple different examples on the side of the room if you'd like to look a little bit later, both a more complicated setup and a simpler setup, both thanks to Dollar Tree, so neither of them is overly expensive. It's about how much you put in there. When we set up a clean, organized space, that tells your potential supporters, hey, we're serious here. We're not goofing around, we're not playing a game, we have a mission. If you look like you are professional, they're more inclined to want to give you their money. 2, a neat and organized space is easier to work in. Now, I don't know how many of you have tried working in a booth environment where you have so many boxes stacked up, just thrown randomly. We put a few things on the table and we just toss that cardboard box behind us. And then you're tripping over it and it's no fun. And if you look like the Three Stooges, why would somebody want to give you $75 popcorn, right? So keeping a neat, organized space helps you feel more comfortable, confident. And here's the big one. A Scout always leaves a place better than they found it. Not as good as, better. We do not leave our trash. You do not, you go through 6 cases of popcorn in the course of a popcorn storefront. Awesome. You take all 6 of those empty boxes and you break them down and you put them in your car and you dispose of them in your recycling. You do not fill up Smith's trash cans with your broken down cardboard boxes. You do not leave your McDonald's from the lunch you hastily scarfed down on the way to the storefront in CVS's trash can. When we abuse those privileges, when we take advantage of, they don't put those trash cans out for us, they put them out for their customers. And when we take that, why are they going to invite us back? You already heard Ryan talking about a couple stores that we had last year are not available this year for various reasons. And I can tell you from having been part of the process of securing booths in the past, biggest reason we have been given for, yeah, no, is either 1, the kids are crazy, and so we're afraid somebody's going to get hurt. And so we don't want to deal with the possible liability issue. So no. You guys always leave such a mess. You block traffic. You're bugging the customers inside and outside. We always want to keep in mind, we don't want to be an eyesore. We want to be showing a pillar of the community. We want to show the good we are for the community, not how much of a mark can you leave in a negative way. A scout is friendly, courteous, kind, cheerful, brave, and reverent. When approaching and speaking with your supporters, greet them with a smile. And you can say hi as they go in the store. Just don't hit them up with my popcorn right away. Speak clearly and loud enough for them to hear you. This is a hard one to do. And this is why getting them to practice before your storefront is a good idea. If they know what to say, they are more likely to speak so that their customers can hear them. If they're unsure, then quiet them on the side. And then, yeah, I don't have time for this, and somebody's gonna walk on. And I can tell you, I have seen this in action. I have seen kids who were so shy at 5 years old, clinging to their mother's shirt and unwilling to step more than 2 feet away, wouldn't speak up during any meeting, wouldn't speak up during any activity. And through the fundraising storefronts, they found their voice. And they started speaking up more in meetings. And watching this development and growth, yeah, the money that we made off of the storefronts was great, but that was what made it worth it. So have them practice and build that confidence. Have their popcorn pitch down and teach them to listen to their potential supporters. If somebody says no, respect that. There could be all kinds of reasons that they might say no. So again, I understand, well, if you change your mind, we will be back here next Saturday, so we will be here to help you then. Also, bring along with you little those cards that Trails and has to help. Have scouts were there, have some of their own personal cards. If you're ready later, go ahead and check out my online storefront, and you can order there. If you order more than $70, it is free delivery. So you might not get them in front of Smith. They may not be prepared today, but you listen to them, you respect them, and you give them an option. You might get a sale later. There's always a way to turn that no into a yes or a maybe. And remember, the big one, just speaking to a stranger, especially for a kid, can be scary. Yay, you have already won. You have already done something just by showing up and trying. Do your best is the Cub Scout motto. It is something that should carry through even for the older scouts. Do your best, and you've already won. A scout is obedient when following the rules of the popcorn program and respecting the conditions set by their stores. Now, when you go into your Trails and app and you reserve storefront, if you click it, it'll have on there a place where it says, basically that little arrow there, all the information about your store. And down at the bottom, storefront details, any special conditions. You can go to this bottom one here. No, oh, I did wrong. There you go. Agreements. Any special conditions that store has set, you can look at it. So look at it. Take a look at it, know what the rules are, and by following those rules, we improve our relationship. We make them more likely to say yes next year, and maybe somebody who runs a different store sees you over at their competitor or sees you at the store they're going to and say, hey, you know, actually they are doing pretty good. You know what? Come on down. Build those relationships through your example. Actually, that was the important part. And respect that by not respecting those conditions, again, told you before, that's how we lose stores. We don't want to deal with your scouts running willy-nilly all over the place as a possible liability. We don't want to clean up your trash. We had to send a worker out to empty the trash cans 2 times more than normal during the time you guys were there. We don't want to deal with that. Being respectful means we preserve those relationships and we strengthen them. Paul, please stand in your chair. A scout is thrifty and loyal. This is a great example of, I'm not going to ask mom and dad for the money. We're going to earn this ourselves. And raise your hand if you've got parents in your pack or troop that don't mind paying for everything. Okay, that's a unique condition. I have never seen that before. I have never seen a parent say, no, rather throw money at it. There's a lot of kids out there who, especially if the parents are active in it, when they're looking at paying double for every event, just earn it themselves. It makes it so much easier for parents to say yes when you're not having to say yes and pull out your check. So by learning to get the kids excited about earning themselves, but even more, they enjoy the activities more. They have more fun, and I know it doesn't seem like, but I have seen it. I have taken scouts on the same trip multiple times. The first time, mom and dad paid for everything. The second time, they worked their butts off to get that particular event. And they had so much more fun when they didn't. They went around telling everybody. My 5th graders this year did their major bridging at Disneyland. They worked hard. My troop had reduced down to 5 girls. Out of, at one point, we were about 20. 5 girls, and they still had the most effective selling season. Without me there, because I moved to another state at the start of the season. And still, they pushed themselves through wind, through cold, through rain. They worked every weekend. And you know what? They were there from 2 hours before the opening of the park until closing. They refused to leave. They wanted the whole day, and they kept telling people, we earned this ourselves. Don't underestimate this impact. When they have ownership in it, it means so much more. A scout is trustworthy. They're dealing with pack or troop inventory. As soon as they make a sale, they've got pack or troop money. Yes, it is overseen by your adults. Your adults are going to be the ones who are going to be keeping that. But for a brief moment, even your lions have $25 in their hands, and that's going to their pack. And that's a big responsibility that they are proud of. So really put that in there of, this is something you are being entrusted with, and it makes it something more appealing to them. And a scout is helpful. They're helping to help their pack, help their community, showing what scouting does. You'll notice that one of our displays, the What We Do board, is something that's always been successful. Take pictures. You take pictures of your unit throughout the year, right? Show everybody what you've done with last year's popcorn money. What more could you do this year? Showing what you're actually spending it on makes it less of a just give me and more of a help us to learn. Now, why storefronts? Why do we even bother with it? Why not just sell to grandparents? Why not just do your online? Well, first of all, it gives you access to a larger pool of potential customers, which I don't know about you, but our friends and family all pretty much place their orders in the first week, and then we've got 3 or 4 months of network. This lets you reach out to the community as a whole. The number one reason why people do not buy it is because they weren't asked. They didn't see you. I didn't see any scouts selling popcorn this year. Where were they? Well, when we're at those storefronts, we're visible. We're showing ourselves to the community. And it's a chance to say, hey, yes, we're still here. We're not something from the 1950s that died. We're still here. We're active. We're learning. We're doing things for today's world. let us show you, and please help us to learn more. And that makes a big impression. So be prepared. Gather your supplies and your inventory the night before your storefront. Do not say, I'll just throw it in the car in the morning. I've done that so many times. Me and my ADHD, just do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow, and you'll drive yourself nuts. Put it in your car the night before. It's simple, it's easy, especially if you train your parents and your scouts before the shift how to do it. We already discussed that. Have a plan. So set up your booth at a meeting. Pull out the material, say, here's what we got. How do we want this to look? That way, when you get there, you already know what it's going to look like. Now, this is my little tip and trick. This is what I call a booth box. I have 2 of them. I built them for my parents because we would sometimes do 2 booths simultaneously. Not too big, fits in everybody's car, right? In this box, I keep a tablecloth, a cash box, any printed signs. So you'll see over there, we have a sign that promotes scouting and a sign that shows our menu so people know what we've got to offer. A sign that says, hey, we'll take your credit cards because, you know, it's a lot easier to count credit card receipts than to try and count cash, right? So all of our signs go in here. A bag of fasteners. And I've got all kinds. I've got zip ties. I've got Velcro. I've got these little binder clips are awesome for hanging up your banners off of your easy up, right? The one thing I say is duct tape. I've seen this time and time and time again. Don't try to fasten your signs or banners or tablecloths with packing tape. It doesn't work. Masking tape doesn't work. You will always be fighting with it throughout the shift. Duct tape. It's not that expensive a roll. You can get it at Dollar Tree too. Again, neither of these 2 setups cost more than, I think that one is the most, $15. Because I have a couple extra lights that were not $1. But they're not expensive. So have a roll of duct tape on you. I highly recommend, if you're going to be collecting cash, a bill verifier. Anything over 20. Again, if you don't have, if you get a counterfeit bill, who's responsible for that? I definitely don't want to deal with it. Luckily, I haven't had to, but I have known a troop who got a $100 sale they were excited about and didn't check the bill and came back and told them it was counterfeit, so their bank would not take. Now, luckily, our council at that time had provisions to help them through it, but I mean, could you imagine if that happened more than once? So $10 investment can save you $100 of, okay, we just gave away $100 of popcorn for basically a cheap piece of paper. And the kids love using it. First aid kit. I don't know how many times I have been at a storefront and somebody scraped their knee or got a paper cut on one of the boxes or picked at their nail. Who knows? Kids will find a million 2 ways for ouchies. Just have a first aid kit in there so that take care of it, one done. And then anything else that you think would go in there. Again, that entire setup fits in here. So if all your parents are picking up is this, a table, an easy up, and maybe a banner or 2 rolls. Pretty easy, right? Also, a booth book. Notice it's not huge. Details about the store. So everything that was on that storefront, they know the details. A tally sheet. We want to do everything in Trails app, but sometimes technology goes down. So have backup. Nutritional information, allergy guide. When people ask, you know, any other information, incident reports, anything that might come up, you just put it in a simple little folder. It's there. By having those set of time, I've had the same booth books for like 4 or 5 years. I just update if something is updated. Once you establish it, it makes it a whole lot easier. So having those grab and go, don't worry about it, will make your whole experience so much better. And finally, be sure to bring enough cash to make change. Now, again, I don't know, I've heard different numbers. I do not have the data yet for Las Vegas, so maybe talk to some of your other unit leaders of, hey, how much change do you bring? I know in the last few years, the last few times I've done it, we usually bring about $150. But that was, how we did. So, find out what for your area is the appropriate amount of change and bring it with you. Do not go into the store and ask them to make change for you. Again, that's one of those things that will very quickly get them into the, we don't want to deal with that next year. So bring your money with you ahead of time. Storefront setup do's and don'ts. Have the product visible. You want people to see the product, but do not have the price visible. This is something that, well, hey, when you go into the store, everything's labeled and everything's priced, right? Except for you have to keep in mind that we are selling a bag of popcorn for $20, $25. We do not want sticker shock to be a reason for somebody to not even listen to our scouts, right? I think the big way that we said it is, nobody wants to buy a $25 bag of popcorn, especially when they can walk inside the store and buy the same size bag for $5. We're not selling popcorn. We are not a popcorn company. We are not making a profit on popcorn sales. We are selling scouting. We are selling experiences for the youth of our community to make more responsible, active youth in their community. They do want to help make sure the kids on their street are kids they want on their street. That's what we're doing. So when you have the product stickered with its price, somebody will walk up, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I have to go. Instead, have them talk to the scout. That is what they're investing. Have your banner wrapped around the front of your table. It is a lovely way to hide all of the cardboard boxes. If you're hiding those boxes, again, don't load your table down. Don't have them seeing 20 packages of white cheddar. Have one or two and then restock. You just want them to see what's available. You don't necessarily want them to know right where you are at this precise moment. Instead, okay, what do you want? And we'll look and we'll see what we have. Don't allow the scouts to sit behind the table. It is so tempting. And I know parents, we're older, we've got a bit more time on our knees and our legs. We would like to sit, standing for 2 hours is a bit much, but at 18 years and under, they can stand for 2 hours. Have them out front and center. Again, we're selling their growth and their experience. We're not hiding them in the back room. They are what we want out front and center. Do not pitch to people as they enter the store. Right then, as they're going in that store, they're thinking about what they're going in there to buy. You are not as important as why they are there. When they're coming out, let me pull out a little extra cash. I remember seeing that cute Cub Scout out front. I think I'll buy a popcorn or something. As they're coming out, that is when they're more likely to have the time to listen to you. Greet people with a smile, because again, don't ask them, will you help us as they're walking in the store, but hi. And now that absolutely adorable, perfect uniform, definitely wear that uniform. Believe me, the shirts are fun, but the uniform sells. It makes a huge difference. I can't even tell you. Oh, remember that really cute little Cub Scout out front? Yeah, okay, I think I'll go ahead and pull out $20 and I'm gonna help them out outside. Have your popcorn pitch ready to go. We've already talked about that. And ask the kids, what's their favorite product? What's their favorite popcorn? Customers ask this all the time. And any experienced sellers out there, when your scout tells them, my favorite is blazing hot, what's the customer most likely to say? Okay, I'll go ahead and get that one. So if your scouts know what they like, that shows confidence in the product. And again, that pulls the customer into one less decision they have to make. Okay, I'll just go with what you recommend. And have that Trails End app opened, ready to record the transaction. I like doing it on tablets, a slightly larger surface, but whatever you've got, it is definitely worth it to have it there, to have the kids ready to take their orders again. If they feel that they are using that point of sale, they have ownership of it. It's not, I'm just kind of standing here because mom made me. No, I'm here, I'm doing something. And that makes all the difference in their attitude. And don't push potential supporters away by not listening to their no. Again, we talked about that. If we respect the no as a not today, that leaves the door open, but maybe tomorrow. There we go. So, perfecting your popcorn pitch. We, again, do not want to say, you want to buy some popcorn? No. Will you please help my unit to do these amazing adventures we have? Yeah, sure. I'll help you guys pay for that trip. Wonderful. Which popcorn would you like as a thank you? Because that's basically what we're doing. We're asking for that donation. They get a popcorn treat as a thank you for helping support the path. Know how your success will help impact you, your unit, your community. I've oftentimes had a tracker where throughout the course of our sale, we have our troop goal way up here. We have pit stops along the way of, if we get to this point, we get to do this. And if we get to this point, we get to do this. And as their sales go, people like to see progress. So if they see, I mean, Mario Kart, what an awesome opportunity for that. Have that little racetrack, have that little Toad or Yoshi or whoever zooming up your chart. It'll be fun for the kids, but also the community likes to see how much of a difference am I really making. Develop a personal popcorn pitch rather than just a generic yes, no question. What is easier to say, yes or no? No, to a stranger most of the time, right? I don't know you, why do I invest in time? If all you're asking is a yes, no question, they're gonna default to no. So instead, give them something of a open-ended, of a, which one would you like? That's not as easy to push away, right? It takes a lot more effort to say no to that. So having it, so picking your favorite will help your supporters because they will ask you. And include also the service you do, not just the fun stuff. Yes, they want to see rock climbing. Yes, they want to see you camping and all. But show that, hey, we also use this to help with our Scouting for Food campaign. We use this to help build a new gazebo in the park because we noticed we didn't have enough shade here. By showing your community interaction, it's not just, we're not just paying for you to go have fun. Oh, wait, we might actually get something cool for our community. Don't forget your heroes and helpers. This is wonderful. Diverticulitis is a great reason not to get popcorn, but hey, you can't eat the popcorn yourself. How about helping out our local firehouse? How about helping out our station's servicemen and women in the armed forces? It's calorie-free, guilt-free, fat-free. Trails End app, again, you're going to learn more about that in one of the next sessions, but using it as a storefront, it helps you to stay focused. And honestly, this little sucker here, yes, it costs $40. Best $40 my troop ever spent. It paid for itself in one storefront because this not only will connect to whatever device you have, it doesn't care if you're Apple, Android, Samsung, doesn't matter, it's Bluetooth. Every modern device connects to Bluetooth, if nothing else. So that's available, every parent can have access to it. It can read chips, it can read mobile pay, and a lot of banks are getting security focused, where they're not accepting pop-up store typed in manual codes. I have had sales that almost didn't go through because my daughter typed it into the app and their bank said, nope. And so we pulled out the Square Reader. Ding. If it has a chip, some banks want to do it. Yeah.
Something real quick to add to your box is a charger.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. A charger, anything that you, again, anything you feel works in there. So having that Square Reader makes a difference. This is specifically the contactless and chip reader is what they refer to that one as. So your Trailgun app, it can completely make those, what do you call it, the tally sheets almost obsolete. Again, always keep them with you. Analog's good for backup, but print out at the end of the report. And if you're taking most of your sales as credit, you don't even have to count cash. And then finally, bling your boots. Make it catchy, make it interesting, not crazy, but show what's there. If it's eye-catching, people can't help but look, because that's what eye-catching means. Make sure that they're having fun. Get slow, have the kids sing a song, not an obnoxious song, but camp song. I can't tell you how many times camp songs have brought former scouts over who were gonna walk on by, but oh man, I remember, oh, yes, I remember how much fun this is, yes, will help. If they're having fun, it helps the community. So good luck, happy selling. And the big thing is, if you are prepared and positive, storefront success is super simple. All right, thank you.
We'll be taking a 9-minute break and then we'll be in room A. This is what this camera for that.
All right, Paul, come in. Paul, honey, come here.